All right, shalom, shalom. First things first, I want to give our honor and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Hakodash. We say Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Yahweh, Barakati Yahushai, Bahashem, Hakodash. And we give double honors to our apostles and our elders, which are the apostle elders, a great millstone, which feed us with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding through the spirit and power of Yahbashim Yahushai. 2026, which is seeing itself to be a heavy year, the year of apostates, fallouts, and spies. So this is a response video going into Nathaniel. All right. So the title of this lesson is going to be Nate is a flim-flam man. Okay. Nate is a flim-flam man. And his statement that just came, I ain't heard of that saying in a minute. But I was thinking about this guy and watching the moves that he's made and trying to be somebody. That's why I said some preach Yahweh Shah for contention and strife. So it's really not for the truth's sake. It's for making himself, because the apostle Elder mentions this in the video that it's more of a pride issue. Same thing going back to the Sadducees and Pharisees, the wicked ones, is that Yahweh Shah was, they said it. It says if we let him alone, he's going to take away our place because they were given their status and their seat by the Roman authorities. They were pretty much insiders. They were compromised, okay, because they had to follow Rome's bidding more than the bidding of Yahbashim Yahushai and the truth sake. They pushed the truth, but when push came to shove, that they were really going under the Roman authority rule. That's why they brought him. That's why they brought Yahweh Shai to the Edomites, which were the Roman authorities at the time, because they couldn't take his life. So they had to escalate it, just like if you take a court case, and from that court case you escalate it to the judicial, then you have the district, and then you go to the Supreme Court. It goes all the way up to the Supreme Court. So they escalated it because they wanted to take this man out of the way. They wanted to take Yahweh Shai out of the way because he was stirring up a lot of things in the area, okay? Because they were trying to go with the flow. That's why the Yahweh Shai got mad at them about being about having the money changers. They were acting like it says you are of your father, the devil. That means that you doing the shit that Esau's doing. You ripping off your own people. You making money off your own people in a time that they should be coming to serve the Heavenly Father the most. And now thinking about it, why it was so bad, because Yahweh Shai was that sacrificial lamb. So they were money changing during the time of Passover, which symbolically represented his sacrifice. So they were desecrating his sacrifice prior to it even being done. That this is what you're going to do on the Passover, because the Passover going to the time of Egypt with the death angel, okay, that was if you didn't have the blood of the lamb on your doorpost, your firstborn was killed. So that was a symbolic of the coming Passover, which was the lamb of Yahweh Shai, which is the lamb, which is Yahweh Shai, and that blood being on your doorpost is the doorpost of your mind, okay? You don't actually have to go get lamb's blood and sprinkle it on your doorpost. That's not, it's all breakdown as a symbolic gesture. So it makes sense now that not just his father's house, that they were making money and pretty much scamming Israelites that were coming into Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover at a time where that Passover was symbolic of his death and his rise and resurrection. I just thought about that. That was a little segue, but we're going to play this I don't have to say fair use, but this is from the Apostle Elder Tahar's page, and it's what is 666 Mark GMS Truth. Definitely check it out and subscribe if you have not, and just look at the information or look at the way Nate is spinning this, because now he's saying that the MOTB is sanctions, but it was nations, small nations, great nations. The thing about it is he wished we didn't have receipts. He wished that we didn't have long memories and receipts, because his congregation doesn't look into things. We're not here to respect of persons. We have an outside looking in view of things. So we're not sitting here worshiping Nate. Hey, trying to bring guys out of that madness. Because if you take that mark, it's over with. Let's play this.
The only ones that explain it the right way.
And all that, where they create laws of sanction, where if you
Has nothing to do with a sanction.
say certain things, they can sanction you, shut down your bank account. Okay, and they do it with countries. We see it with countries, but they're going to make it.
This is what he said back in 2014. It's not talking about people. It's talking about countries and companies. Big countries and small countries. Rich countries and poor countries. And he never read to the 17th verse where it says, when it mentioned the word man.
It now with individuals. If you say certain things, like in Canada, you're not allowed to read the laws of homosexuality, where God says, a man should not lay down with mankind as he does with women.
Because the focus is not in Canada. The focus is here in America. Because you can say that it's wrong for a man to lay down with another man in America. Why? Because the focus is here in America. You have no business being in Canada. Now you have certain groups up there that's teaching, but really the focus, I keep saying that, the focus is here in America.
You go to prison. That's what's going on in Canada now. These laws is going to cover everything.
Now you got GMS camps.
So you see the switching up, and I advise you to watch the rest of this video. I'm not going to make it too long. I just wanted to hit that main point of Nate pushing now is sanctions, and the way Esau can cut you. That's not buying and selling, my man. All right, that's not buying and selling. That's why he is, I call him a flim-flam man. Okay. Hold on, let me get it. Hold on. Damn, what happened to it? Okay, let's get it. What? Hold on, let's do this. Flim. There we go. The word there is flim-flam. Flim-flam. Man is an informal term for a trickster, swindler, or con artist who uses deception, skillful persuasion, and fraud to cheat people out of money or property. And this guy, the main thing he's trying to steal from you is the crown of life, because what he's pushing and the things that he's concerningly pushing, even going back to Cornelius with the apostles and elders, which he never apologized for, going back to the different breakdowns that he's come up with throughout the years. It just keeps going. All these things that you have to eat pork, all these are flim-flam activities, okay? These are not activities of a man of the Lord that keeps changing. It says, unto him that is given unto change, okay? This man is given unto change repeatedly, and it's not us. We have videos and receipts. That's like someone saying, "Oh yeah, that's an addict behavior." Yeah, I ain't even do that. We recorded you doing it. So, but that's the mentality, and we're not saying this to try to heckle the guys, to say that you doing flim-flam, you doing activities that are weird, man. It's becoming awkward, man, how the things that he's doing, he's changing from this to that, and all these podcasts, which you could push the truth, and it's simple. The yoke is easy, because the elect are going to get it. They're going to get it, and they're going to get it good. They're not going to get it halfway and be wondering. That's why it says none of the wicked shall understand. How's none of the wicked going to understand? That means that the righteous are going to be able to. That's why it says that he maketh them of quick understanding. All right, in the fear of the Lord. So this is not something we got to bang it into people's heads. And this ain't for, if podcasts pick it up, okay, cool. Somebody here, Israelites, go to a page, search, there'll be videos, and they'll find the truth if they're of the elect. But the activities that Nate is doing is flim-flam man activities. is a person, dishonest person who runs scams. That's what he's doing. He's running. This is a pon. This is a spiritual Ponzi scheme, man. Because it's keep changing. It's the goal line keeps getting moved back and forth, back and forth. It's not and I can tell you, with the apostles and elders in the time that I've known the truth, they have never changed the definition, the breakdown of the MOTB, not one time. But this guy has changed it multiple times, and then has been this, has been that. It's because saving face. That's why it says you must die to be reborn. This is not about you and being a person. This is an example of don't let your ego go. Your ego will drag you into destruction, man. To make it be right. Yeah, you still wrong and you burning, but you still hoping on right. It ain't coming. Just like somebody that's senile or it's like having Alzheimer's or something. Your mind ain't working right, and and the things that you pushing they're not right. They're not adding up. So that's why we push this truth and we give people an opportunity to see what's going on. That's why it says this. It's the book of Revelation. Let's go to MSG. At Revelation 3 and 11. Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast which thou hast. And what's that? Hold tight what you have concerning this truth, concerning the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Hold fast what you have, man. Why is it saying hold fast? Because it can be taken. It's not something you just got it. Yeah, I just got this. No, it's not like that, man. You have to hold fast to it. You have to maintain it, just like you maintain a garden, you maintain animals. If you don't feed your animal for 6 months, best believe your animal is gonna be hard up, if not here no more. Okay. This is the book of Revelation 3 and 11 MSD. This is rendering, I'm on my way. I'll be there soon. Keep a tight grip on what you have so no one distracts you and steals your crown. This passage calls for steadfast faith and endurance until Yahushua Mashiach returns, warning believers not to lose their heavenly reward through complacency or deception. Flim-flam. Don't let the flim-flam get you, man. The nigga's off, man. He can call us what we want, and we call him what he want. He gonna be in the kingdom of heaven anyway. We gonna eventually toast up, and the things is in the past. But for now, it's not right, man. Okay, it's not adding up. It's the things that he's doing are not going according to the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding the true gospel, man. Okay, Nate is a flim-flam man. That's what he's doing. These are flim-flam activities. This ain't just some shit you just pick up. It's Ezekiel 13 and verse 4, and it says, your prophets Israel. It says, your prophets Israel are like jackals among ruins. What does it say in NLT? Amplified. O Israel, your prophets have been like foxes among the ruins. See, they're running around doing weirdo shit, man. All right, let me get the Amplified 4 to 4. Let me read to 5. Salakia. And it says this is Ezekiel 13. Let's start at verse 4. It says, Israel, your prophets have been like foxes among the ruins. You have not gone up into the gaps or breaches, nor built the walls around the house as a house of protection. Okay, so give me 1 second. All right. So it's a form of protection. So that's the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding which protects those that are coming in. All right, that's why the knowledge, it says, he that wandereth out the way shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So your mentality is to say, look, you're to build a house and a protection. It says, if you love me, feed my sheep. All right, so if you love me, you're going to feed the sheep. Yabashim Yahshai, the true wisdom, knowledge, and you can't feed a sheep steak. It don't process it. So you can't feed lies and bullshit to the sheep, and they process it right, it's not gonna add up. They might as well starve, because it's gonna go against their bodily make. Their bodies are not meant to process meat. So the bodies are not meant to process the lies that we've been ingesting, starting with all the bullshit that came with us falling off from the law, statutes, and commandments, going into the ways of the heathens, going into the ways of the captivities that we were into. Those were us not processing what we're meant to process. That's why it says, I've come that you may have life and have it abundantly. Okay? It says, you have nor built the wall around the house of Israel, that it might stand in the battle of the day. And what's the main battle coming? Jacob's trouble. Because after Jacob's trouble, that's going to be the last battle, deliverance. And then there's going to be some skirmishes when the elect comes down from the king from heaven. All right, as that bride adorned for her husband. There's going to be some skirmishes on the earth, but it's going to be putting things in order. There's not going to be no losses, okay, because the elect will be immortal. They're going to have immortal vessels. Okay, that's the sit down right there, the immortal vessels. It says, they have seen falsehood and lying divination, saying, the Lord says, but the Lord has not sent them. Yet they hope and make men to, it says, and make men to hope for confirmation of the word. Did you not see, make up a false vision and speak lying divinations when you said the Lord declares, but it is not, just like he said, when there ain't going to be a time of Jacob's trouble. That was a lie, man. And now he stepped back. Instead of admitting that he lied, he's backtracking and throwing shade. That's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. All right. Let me pull this up real quick. Hold on. There we go. This is Ezekiel 13 and verse 8. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, because you have spoken empty and delusive, delusive words, and have seen lies. Therefore, behold, I am against you. And that's how is he against Nate? By way of the prophets, by way of starting with the apostles and elders. All right, that's how he's against them. It's just like the Lord sent prophets against kings. He was against them. They were pronouncing judgment on kings of Israel for the wrongs that they did. So what makes you think that anything's different? I am against you, saith the Lord. So my hand will be against the counterfeit prophets who see make up empty and delusive visions, and who give lying prophecies. Know Jacob's trouble. That was a lying prophecy. They will have no place in the secret counsel of my people, which is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, the deep things. Nor will they be recorded in the registry of the house of Israel, and that's the deliverance. He that is found written in the book of life. Nor will they enter into the land of Israel, that you may know without any doubt that I am the Lord your power. It is definitely because they have seduced my people, and that's what another word for zombie. What it would say, I'm blindly in love. When a woman loves you, they go blindly in it. Okay, so these people love Nate blindly instead of checking his oil and checking the things that he's saying. Now, without doubt, I'm Salakia. People say peace when there is no peace, because when one builds a flimsy wall, behold, these lying prophets plaster it over with whitewash. So tell those who plaster it with whitewash that it will fall. That means that once these things come down the pipe, all those lies and all those things that were built on unsturdy and unfoundational grounds, they're gonna fall. And that's the knowledge. That's what you've built up, your house. Okay, the house represents your truth and represents your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's why it's called the house of David. Okay. These lying prophets plaster over the whitewash, and so tell those who plaster it with whitewash that it will fall a flooding rain, which is, it says the wicked shall come in like a flood of judgment will come, and you, O great hailstone, will fall and a violent wind will tear the wall apart. Behold, when the wall has fallen, we will not be asked, where is the coating with which your prophets plastered it? Therefore, does say, that means that the lies is going to be washed away. That means they're going to be irrelevant because they're going to be found to be lies and not not accurate. I will make a violent wind break out in my wrath, and there will be in my anger an overwhelming rain and great hailstones to destroy the wall in wrath. So I will tear down the wall which you have plastered with whitewash, and bring it down to the ground, which is the false breakdowns, false understanding of the prophecies to come will be exposed. When it falls, you will perish in its midst. That means you ain't going to be delivered. And you shall know the understanding fully that I am the Lord. Thus I will expend my wrath on the wall and on those who have plastered it with whitewash. And I will say to you, the wall is gone, it is plastered, and the plasters are gone, along with the false prophets of Israel who prophesied deceitful to Jerusalem, and who see false visions of peace for her when there is no peace, saith the Lord power. That's what we're telling now. Yahbashim Yahshua is moving heavy pieces in this time of 2026. And we're going to see a lot of big and great things break out for the name of Yahbashim Yahshua. So with that, I say, call hello, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem Chakodash. Until next time, I say Shalom, and more now to never keep faith. Shalom.